First World War, also known as World War I, was one of the most significant and transformative conflicts in world history. Fought from the 28th July 1914 to the 11th of November 1918, it involved most of the world's great powers, divided into two major alliances, the Allied powers and the Central Powers. The war not only redrew the map of Europe, but also laid the groundwork for modern warfare and geopolitical tensions that would erupt again in World War II. This detailed account presents all the key incidents, causes, and developments of the war. Background causes of the war. 1. Nationalism. Nationalism created an environment where nations pursued their interests aggressively, often at the expense of diplomacy and peace. For example, Slavic nationalism in the Balkans threatened the stability of the Austro-Hungarian Empire, while French desires for revenge over the loss of Alsace-Lorraine to Germany after the Franco-Prussian War in 1871 fueled tensions between France and Germany. Militarism in the early 20th century. European powers heavily invested in their militaries. The belief that national greatness came from military strength led to an arms race, especially between Britain and Germany. Modern weapons battleships, like dreadnoughts, and compulsory military service were widespread, increasing the probability of war. 3. Imperialism, the race for colonies, especially in Africa and Asia, created rivalry and hostility. Germany, late to colonial competition, sought a place in the sun, which threatened established powers like Britain and France. 4. Alliance system. Two main alliance systems had developed. Triple Entente, France, Russia, Britain. Triple Alliance, Germany, Austria-Hungary. Italy. Italy switched sides in 1915. These alliances were meant for mutual protection, but actually increased the scale of the conflict once it began. Immediate cause: the assassination at Sarajevo, 28 June 1914. On 28 June 1914, Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary and his wife Sophie were assassinated in Sarajevo by Gavrilo Princip, a Bosnian Serb nationalist and member of the Black Hand secret society. Austria-Hungary saw the assassination as a direct attack and blamed Serbia. Austria-Hungary's ultimatum to Serbia. On 23 July 1914, Austria-Hungary issued a harsh ultimatum to Serbia. Though Serbia accepted most demands, Austria-Hungary found the response unsatisfactory and declared war on Serbia on 28 July 1914. The domino effect: escalation to global war. Russia mobilizes. 30 July 1914. Russia, a Slavic nation and ally of Serbia, began mobilizing its forces against Austria-Hungary. Germany declares war on Russia. On 1 August 1914, Germany, allied with Austria-Hungary, viewed Russian mobilization as a threat and declared war on Russia. Germany declares war on France. 3 August 1914. Germany anticipated French support for Russia and preemptively declared war on France. Germany invades Belgium. 4 August 1914. To reach France quickly, Germany implemented the Schlieffen Plan, which involved invading neutral Belgium. The violation of Belgian neutrality provoked outrage. Britain declares war on Germany. 4 August 1914. Britain had guaranteed Belgium's neutrality by treaty and thus declared war on Germany after the invasion. Austria-Hungary declares war on Russia. 6 August 1914. The Central Powers and Allied powers were now fully engaged in war. Major incidents and battles of the war. 1. Battle of the Marne, September 1914. This early battle stopped the German advance into France and ensured that the war would become a prolonged stalemate. It marked the beginning of trench warfare on the Western Front. 2. Trench warfare and stalemate, 1914 to 1918. From the North Sea to Switzerland, opposing armies dug vast systems of trenches. Life in the trenches was brutal. Mud, rats, shellfire, and poison gas became daily realities. 3. Use of new weapons. World War I saw the first major use of modern weapons: machine guns, tanks, poison gas, chlorine and mustard, airplanes and submarines, U-boats. These innovations increased casualties and changed military strategies. 4. Battle of Gallipoli, 1915. Allied forces, led by Britain, and including Anzac, Australian and New Zealand Army Corps troops, attempted to open a sea route to Russia via the Dardanelles. The campaign failed, with heavy losses. 5. Sinking of the Lusitania, 1915. A German U-boat sank the British ocean liner Lusitania, killing 1,198 people, including 128 Americans. This incident turned American public opinion against Germany. 6. Italy enters the war, May 1915. Italy joined the Allies after being promised territorial gains. Battles were fought along the mountainous Italian front against Austria-Hungary. Battle of Verdun, 1916, one of the longest and costliest battles, with French and German forces suffering heavy losses. It became a symbol of French determination and German failure. 8. Battle of the Somme, July-November 1916, a joint Franco-British offensive on the Western Front. It resulted in over 1 million casualties and minimal territorial gain. It also marked the first use of tanks. 9. Russian Revolutions, 1917. February Revolution led to the abdication of Tsar Nicholas II. October Revolution brought the Bolsheviks to power. Russia signed the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk with Germany in March 1918 and exited the war. 10. The United States enters the war, April 1917. The Zimmermann Telegram, a secret German proposal to Mexico, and unrestricted submarine warfare led the U.S. to declare war on Germany. American resources and manpower boosted Allied morale. 11. German Spring Offensive. 1918, Germany launched a final massive offensive to win the war before American forces could arrive in full strength. Despite initial gains, the offensive failed. 12. Allied 100 Days Offensive. August-November 1918. This final series of offensives pushed German forces back. The Central Powers collapsed one by one. Bulgaria, September, Ottoman Empire, October, Austria-Hungary, November. 13. Armistice signed, 11 November 1918. Germany agreed to an armistice on the 11th November 1918. Fighting stopped at 11 a.m., marking the end of World War I. Political and social impact, collapse of empires. German Empire became the Weimar Republic. Austro-Hungarian Empire disintegrated into multiple nations. Ottoman Empire crumbled, leading to the modern Middle East's formation. Russian Empire became the Soviet Union after Civil War. Casualties: over 16 million dead, including civilians. Around 21 million wounded. An entire generation of men in Europe was lost or traumatized. Economic consequences: devastated infrastructure in Europe, huge war debts, global economic instability, social changes. Women entered the workforce in large numbers. New roles in society for women helped advance women's rights movements. Social unrest and revolutions became common. Treaty of Versailles, 1919. The Treaty of Versailles officially ended the war. It was signed on the 28th June 1919. Key terms included: Germany was blamed for the war guilt clause, heavy reparations imposed on Germany, German military severely limited, territorial losses for Germany, Alsace-Lorraine to France, colonies seized, creation of the League of Nations. The treaty humiliated Germany and sowed the seeds of World War II. Conclusion: the First World War was more than a conflict between nations. It was a turning point in world history. With its causes rooted in nationalism, imperialism, militarism, and entangled alliances, the war escalated from a regional crisis into a global cataclysm. The assassination in Sarajevo may have lit the fuse, but the powder keg had been building for years. The war's devastating toll in human life, economic destruction, and political upheaval changed the global order and set the stage for even greater conflicts in the 20th century. Understanding these incidents helps us appreciate the complexities of peace and the cost of war.